Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we will be looking at my process for urban sketching. I will take you through this drawing that I did yesterday in Entre-os-Rios, a little town in Portugal. It's a very nice place, very pretty place with a lot of nice houses. And I decided to go there to sketch one of the houses that called more my attention there. I want to take you through my process. I want to talk a little bit about how I approach urban sketching, how I do it, some tips and tricks, some things that might help you in your journey through urban sketching, and yeah, let's go to the process. So let's look at my process here on facing this painting. I always start the base sketch with the Micron pen, a waterproof pen that doesn't bleed when we work with watercolor on top. When I do urban sketching, when I am representing houses that I see on the street, I always try to understand what elements of the house speak the most to me and call the most of my attention. In this case here, I really liked the way the windows on the veranda and all those vases appear in the facade of the house. That was very interesting to me, and so I focused on those elements the most because I thought that they were some of the most important characteristics of this house and what called my attention at first when I look at it. When I do these sketches, I don't really work with vanishing points or really try to work the perspective. I want for these sketches to bring much more attention to the different elements of the house, to the details, to those little characteristics that make up the mask that is this facade, that is this house. So I'm not concerned about having the perfect perspective or or dimensions, or that's not really important here. At least for me, the most important is really create almost like a caricature of the house itself, of this facade that will represent these elements that call my attention at first place. So with that being said, even though I'm not super concerned here with the perspective or all the dimensions, I don't want you to think that these are not important. Make sure you learn all these concepts very good before you try to freehand these sketches. Even though I think it's not a problem to just look at the house and try to represent what you see. This is also a good way to just learn through looking at things, how the things work. That's a little bit of how I learned all those concepts and how I understood how they start to make sense in my head. So try to understand these concepts, but when you are doing the urban sketch, when you are painting on location, the most important thing is really just look to the house, to the different elements, and try to stay as true as possible to what you see. And what I mean by representing and staying true to what you see is really just try to look at the different elements of the house, the windows, the vases in this case, the door, and just put the details that you see on those different elements on your drawing. Really bring all those things to the drawing, because the way the door is made, the signs, the different things that are written on the walls, all those things are what's going to bring the characteristics of the house you're looking at. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about stay true to what you see, much more than focus on the perspective or on the correct dimensions. Really just try to bring all those details that we are looking at to the drawing. So after saying this, I also want to say that it's very easy for our mind to try to look at places and just kind of create things that are not really there, artifacts or just random noise or lines that we think are representing where we are painting, but are not really there. So I really recommend you to, when you do this urban sketching exercises, to to focus on what you are seeing, really like pay attention to the different details, how they work, how they are built, and try to pass these same things, these same details to your drawing. What is also nice during the sketches is the possibility of sometimes improvising some things. In this case, I improvise a little bit of the shadows because I think they will add more to the drawing. So don't be afraid to experiment. Stay true to what you see and to the elements of the house. This will teach you, but also you don't need to put rules to yourself. You can sometimes try out different things if you think a certain kind of light will help you to convey a different feeling to the drawing. Experiment, try it. There is nothing wrong. This is a sketch, so this is where we're gonna learn, where we're gonna try, where we're gonna commit errors and sometimes find interesting things. So yeah, learn with what you see and learn by experimenting. So I'm not really talking much about these techniques that I'm using because I already have some videos on these channels where I teach these techniques. I like to start with the shadows, first blocking these shadows because these always help me to understand better the volume of the house. So I always start by adding the tones that are more cold for the shadows. For this I'm using a water brush, which is basically a brush with water inside. This is an amazing tool if you want to do urban sketching. You can just fill it with water before going out of the house, and then you just don't need to concern about water anymore. Your brush strokes will be very easily controlled. You can get more water, you can get a more dry brush stroke. Yeah, it's just a pretty good tool to have on the go. I'm really trying to just bring the feeling of the house through the drawing, using the tools in different ways, trying to get different brush strokes, using my hand, trying to just get as much of this rust and oldness of the house through my drawing, through the tools that I'm using. So just experiment a lot, just try to create these textures and try to look at the house as different textures and try to be creative in the way you pass those to your drawing. I also like to refine my drawing with a pilot G-Tech at the end. It's a very important part of the process because it's where we get the most definition and where we start to see our drawing finished or with a finished look. These drawings on location are very important if you want to learn how the different elements of something like this house work. I used to do a lot of urban sketching before, back in the days. Now I do a lot more of imagination and drawings from my mind, but those would not be possible if I didn't do a lot of sketches on the street, a lot of learning before. So I will recommend you to go outside, to grab your sketchbook and just sketch whatever calls your attention. This might be houses, maybe trees, nature, people, whatever you feel it's what captivates you. Just give it a go outside, sketch it a lot, try to learn how those things work, and then you will be able to also just improvise and create from your imagination your own world and your own drawings. I have to be honest with you, I was not super happy with this sketch. I didn't sketch on location in a long time, and I had my dog with me, and he was he's a young puppy. I just have it for like a month. It's called Basalto, and he was being a little bit nervous about the noises of the other dogs, the cars passing. So I was also not super focused on what I was doing, so I rushed a little bit to the process, but I still decided that it would be nice to show because the concepts were there, and in the end the final result is an interesting drawing in my opinion. So we are almost done with this sketch. The goal with this video was to show you a little bit of the process and talk a little bit about how I see urban sketching and how important I think it can be and how helpful I think it can be. I didn't focus much more on the techniques itself, because I have other videos when I talk more in depth about the techniques. In this video I really just wanted to share with you the ways I do these urban sketches, and why I do some of these things. And I hope that was clear, and I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy looking at my process, and I hope you also enjoyed looking at these houses, Portuguese old houses, which are my favorite thing to do and to represent and to paint, and are basically the inspiration behind all my works. So I hope you like this video, and see you on the next one. Thank you.